Howdy, howdy, fellas. Got another match in World of Warships Legends today. A couple of highlights in this one. This is the California. I think it's one of the three, what I would consider S tier battleships. At tier 5, California, Hyuga. Worst bite for most people. It's not my favorite. Oh my gosh, here, I messed up. Jeez. Wasting money. But the other thing, oh, I lost something. The other thing that I'm highlighting in this video is the most recent update buffed the crisscross skill. So, generally speaking, on the damage archetype battleship commanders, you have crisscross and gyrating drill bits in that second row. There's been a lot of back and forth debate which one's better. They've changed drill bits one time, I believe. Previously they lowered the damage increase but also lowered the speed decrease, and in some ways almost think that was almost a buff. Depends on how you play in the specific matching game, whatever. But the most recent update, they have buffed crisscross, and so maxed out, it now gives 2 degrees per second. If you've watched any of my other battleship videos, you will know that I just really don't like having slow turrets. Turret traverse is one of my not favorite stats, but maybe I lean more on turret traverse than some might. I really like turret traverse, and this change to crisscross, for me, for I think every ship now, I think crisscross is just better. I think they may have gone too far with these changes. I imagine that a lot of the changes that they made to these skills in this update are lesser utilized skills that they're trying to improve to incent people to mix up their builds a little bit. That when the builds start to look the same, they want people to mix it up. I think crisscross is just better now. And so one of the things that I did is I switched the build, switched to crisscross. I've kind of been going through my commanders as I think about it, just switching it on all the builds, because I really don't see the benefit of drill bits now. The damage increase combined with the speed decrease was already, dubious, iffy. Positioning is damage. If you get to the right position, or can make crossfires or move, like, that's going to multiply your damage more than just a little bit of extra damage. Alternatively, if you're already in the right position, just that extra damage is going to be better. So I do see both sides of that. But as it stands with crisscross, especially on ships, sorry, Pensacola. This is my weekly wins at tier 5. I don't spend a ton of time down here. I've been doing them in arcade mostly recently, but I was like, I haven't played California in a long time. One of the problems I had with it was with the AA mod, the turret traverse was too slow. Let's see what it comes down to with crisscross. 40 seconds, which isn't my favorite. I would love for it to be a little bit faster than that, but it's good enough. So we've put back the AA mod on first slot. You saw I messed it up, wasted some money, but it doesn't matter because I got a ton of money. And so we've got the AA back on. That is one of the things that the California brings to the table. It's very good armor, but it's like big and bulky and squishy enough with that big superstructure and easy to set on fire, and it's slow and just easy to hit, whatever. But it's got amazing AA for the tier. It very nearly has tier 7 AA at tier 5. The majority of it is, after I dev struck the first Pensacola, that one just splits all around, and of course with the spotter plane. Like, I think the difference between those two salvos, I think, is just, that's me playing battleships just so much. Got the spotter plane on. Let me just whiff everything. Is he stopping? What is he doing? It looks like he's stopping. What was I saying? California's got the amazing AA. It's got great... And then that one dev strikes. I really did get this game sometimes. It's got great AA. Good armor. Good to great guns. They're not, like, laser accurate. They will spread, but I think compared to Some of the other ships at the tier, they have, oh man, I believe they're 1.8 Sigma with US dispersion, so that's kind of like what I would consider normal good accuracy. Like they're not next level, they're not lasers, they're not railguns, whatever people like to say about super accurate guns. They're not that level. They're still going to have a little bit of spread, as you saw in that salvo against the Pensacola. They will troll you from time to time, but on the whole, on average, I think they are very accurate. You know, something like the New Mexico, it's either 1.5 or 1.6, can't remember off the top of my head, but not amazing. So you'll definitely see, hey, earn. Actually, I shot him earlier. Yeah, I did earn that. So anyway, we're just kind of racking up cruiser kills. You know, you see why you see why maybe people don't always play cruisers. It's just down here at the lower tiers, they don't have the tools and tankiness and damage output. Not at all, but I think they're certainly not as beginner friendly as battleships or even destroyers can be at these lower tiers. I'm just slicing through these guys. Here we've got our red battleships way at the end. But yeah, California S tier battleship at the tier. Just it's very slow. It's very big. It can get burned down, isolated. You know, weak to torpedoes just because it's not the most maneuverable. But yeah, and I don't think any of this is a mystery to anyone. Anyone who kind of knows about these ships. California is one of the better ships in the game. I think sometimes it does have an outsized reputation in some ways. It's not, you know, impossibly better than any other battleship. The Tennessee has the same guns, although they did just nerf the Tennessee, which is, I think they probably just didn't want to go through the hassle of nerfing a premium. California is, I think, pretty much just better than Tennessee. I was a little surprised to see that. But I think if anything, it just proves that the California is actually quite good, which no one was questioning anyway. And then, what am I saying? I don't know. You know, this is, oh, I know. Additionally, so they buffed crisscross. I think that's just a better skill at this point, and we're just like kind of doing our thing. I'm being a little sloppy here. I'm broadside, but it's also there are easy targets right in front of me. They're going to shoot that Emil before they shoot me, I hope. So I'm just trying to pick up some kills here. I am looking for the Kraken. With that many cruisers that I've yeeted back to port, I'm hoping for a little more. Here we get Citadel and the Fuso. Alright, back in action. That took no time for you guys, but forever for me. I didn't realize that Share Factory, like, records the track 2 on kind of its own thing, and if it gets full, it won't let you do anymore. It gave me a pop-up, but I assumed my hard drive was also almost full, so I thought it was that, and I cleared that out, and it still didn't work, and I'm like, what is happening? Finally figured it out. So we're back in action, trying to sink the Fuso. Here comes the fun police. You know, I have played the carriers. Yeah, I have the Independence match up, and then bam, bam, bam. You know, he hits me with 3 torpedoes. Sorry, coughed. He hits me with 3 torpedoes. It takes off what? I think I had a little bit of damage, so it was like 5,400 each. So that's like, we'll say 16,000, or is that right? Yeah, 16,000, and it's like mostly unhealable damage. Sure, I shot down a bunch of his planes, and having played the carriers a little bit, I do have a better appreciation for the actual impact that has on him throughout the game, but it still feels bad. You know, like I've kept myself safe, I've sunk all the ships, and it's just like, oh, the carrier that is at the back of the map sails over the mountains, I'm in cover, and drops me for 16,000 damage that I can't. I've got 3 heals, you know, I can heal back a smidge of it, plus some of the other damage. Like, it still feels bad, even though I understand why. I don't know, I just still, carriers, man. It's frustrating. Again, having played them some, and that's really why I did play them is like, let me understand from the carrier's perspective, like what exactly are the drawbacks. And that was costly for him to drop on me. Um, and I do have a greater appreciation for the actual, and this is why I'm coming this way, is I saw this Congo headed this way. You know, if I head through the middle gap, I may be closer to the other ships, and actually maybe this match ends with maybe a little bit bigger fanfare, but also maybe he gets a broadside shot on me and I lose even more health. Like this is the safe play, and maybe this is why, spoiler alert, I just can never quite get more than the 7 kills. To me, it's not worth that risk. He is the tier 4, right? Yeah. He's only a tier 4, so it's not that likely that he's going to dev strike me or anything like that. But it is theoretically possible, or, and maybe more likely, than an actual dev strike if he rams me. That's the thing that I want to avoid. California's slow. Congo's not fast, but it's faster than the California, that's for sure. So I don't want to put myself in that position to be stuck in that little channel and him pop up right around the island and he's right on top of me. So I take the slightly safer path. That does put me further away from the carrier and the other, I think it's another, yeah, it's the California is the one that's left. So, you know, maybe it's that if I'm in this position to push for the 8 or maybe the clean sweep 9 kill games, maybe I do in retrospect take that riskier play, you know, risk it all for the big reward. But most of the time, honestly all the time, I'm just gonna take the kind of quote unquote safer play for the win, I think. And maybe that's why I don't have 7 kills is my highest kill game, and maybe that's part of why, is like in this instance, looking back, I maybe had a path towards the 9 if I had come further in, but I was worried about getting ran by that Congo, and I really don't want to throw this match. I think we do have a very good handle on it, but I don't know how much health the friendly carrier has at this point. I haven't looked at our friendly battleships for a while, but it's not impossible in 4 minutes left that between the carrier and this California that they sink them. I don't remember what they are off the top of my head, so I don't know that they have the AA to put here. I'm just trying, like, is this guy stopping? I think he's stopping. Oh, and if I had taken the shot on this, like, there's a lot of things. Watching this back, you know, in some ways, in the instance of the match, I was like, oh, how did it go like this? Watching it back, there were ways that I could have played this better. Some that I could have known, and some just a little bit unlucky. Like that Zuiho popped up basically as I was taking the shot. Realistically, I don't know that I conceptually, like, the awareness of, oh, there he is, switch the shot, don't take the shot. Like, I'd been trying to figure out if that California was stopping and turning or not for a minute. Like, I was locked in on that shot. I recognized it pretty quickly, but yeah. And then maybe that shot goes a little bit better. That wasn't a bad shot, but 7 over pins, like, again, maybe I aimed that a touch better. Like, I don't know. Will we get there eventually? Maybe, maybe not. It's not the end of the world. The 9 would be awesome. Oh, and actually, yeah, I wouldn't have gotten 9 anyway. I missed one somewhere else. So this would have been 8 is the most. Oh, but actually, even now reversing that, I would have had to gotten in a lot close. I would have had to gotten to them earlier to not run out on points, and that's where I am here. Is either one that I sink, we end on points. I've got them both dead to rights, but whatever. 7, we'll take it. GG.